All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. Yo. All right, so we got some good stuff this coming week. But first, E, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, man, 'cause you was looking possessed there for a minute. I thought some demon got up inside you, boy.
Nah, let some people know, I have to let some people know, don't come for me unless I call you. And I ain't got your number. So
I just want to
people
make
be
sure you
trying,
good, man.
yeah, people be trying me on social media arguing about this football stuff, and it's like, they just, they steady want to go back and forth with me, and I'm like, hey man, you a casual fan. I do this for real.
Hey man, hey, you know what? For real, hey, even before I even get into introductions, man, I feel you because I got well, actually I know him because I've been on the show a few times and he was on our podcast once over during the spring and when we covered NFC East. And I'm like, dude, for real, I don't even want to have I don't even feel like doing this argument because the way I operate with film or or facts over feelings. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't.
next couple feelings all day. Yeah.
I don't care about this right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about this right here. When I talk, I'm gonna back my stuff up with either film that I can find, or I'm gonna back it up with facts that I find. Okay. I don't do
And,
all this chitter chatter. So
and,
all that other nonsense. This is why. Hey, real quick. This is why we do. This is why we Just a Fan podcast because when we say stuff, our stuff is real, it's legit, it's authentic, man. We don't do all that just, oh, this is all feelings. No, it ain't all feelings. It's
no,
authentic football talk. We
and,
fans just like y'all, but unlike a lot of people out here that just all deep in their feelings, stuff is authentic. Anyway, what's
people
up?
people ignore the facts for their feelings, and I'm like.
Thank you. Thank you.
There's nothing that you can say that can repudiate the facts that I'm giving you as to why you're wrong.
Right.
And like I say all the time, people, you could talk about your quarterback, you could talk about your defense, but Pando 316 says I just prove you wrong. In reality, it's the facts that prove you wrong.
Yeah.
So I just had to ether one of my boys on Facebook the other day, because he going back and forth with me. I'm like, you need to keep certain teams' name out your mouth until you do this, this, and this, until you beat that team. But I ain't gonna go into details about that. But again, don't come for me unless I call you, and I ain't got your number.
So, right here. Um Coach Williams. Oh, hold on. Hey, E, look up real quick before I even do the introduction.
Christian, Christian Moran Herrera. This is who made this shirt for me. That's one of my students. Thank you very much. When it gets cold, I'll wear the hoodie.
So anyway, all right, now we're gonna get into introductions. Real quick, Coach Williams, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Wildcat quarterback that runs the show, aka Five Bear. What's up, y'all? That direction, panel 316, the defensive mind that runs this thing, like he says, don't come for him unless he calls you.
And
he ain't got your number.
I ain't got your number.
So there you go. Anyway, Demarion, what's up? What's up? Quentin, what's up? How y'all doing? All right, so here we go. First topic. This past week, man, there was some statement games, man, and there's some stuff that was made, but I don't know, man. Let me ask you a question, man. Which one do you think was the best, was the most important statement game for whatever team with their victory over, well, the team, the other team that lost?
Well, we put a poll up and on our Facebook page, and not very many people responded. But in my opinion, and I'm gonna give these were the choices, so people will know. Well, if I can find a doggone poll, I put up. But I have it. I have it.
I got it up already.
Yeah. So is
Dallas beating the Giants, the Browns upsetting the Ravens, 49ers bouncing back against the Jags, blowing them out, and Texans upsetting the Bengals.
and there's the Raiders beating the Jets. And then there's another option that I added later. It was Denver upsetting, who seems to be on a roll, upsetting the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, so there's some games there, man.
There's a lot of games that was statements were made
Yes.
on these games, and now in my opinion, and this is not the fan in me. This is just facts. In my opinion, I think it was the Niners bouncing back from a 3-game skid and blowing out a 6-2 team at home on the East Coast. And it was a team that basically led the league in takeaways, and they didn't turn over the ball once. So you talking about I'm sorry, and they had just won 5 games in a row. So like the Jacksonville Jaguars had won 5 games straight. They was on a high. They were leading the league in takeaways at that point. And it didn't look, I picked against the 49ers. So I picked them to lose. I picked them to lose that game. And they went out and showed and proved that they are still one of the most dominant teams in the NFC. Because I didn't go out and beat up the local Pop Warner team. They didn't do that. They not only beat a very good team that's a contending team, but they also went out and beat that contending team on the East Coast at a 12 o'clock game, which everybody knows West Coast teams going to the East Coast for 12 o'clock games is very difficult for those West Coast teams. Then they also managed to protect the ball because everybody was trashing Brock Purdy about how he gives the ball away. They protected the ball from a team that's known for just snatching the ball away from you. That's how Jacksonville wins. They snatch the ball. The energy and Raider Nation, okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. But no, the Raiders made it. They look way better under Antonio Pierce. We'll see how long that lasts because eventually the I don't care. The rah-rah is going to eventually get old and the talent is going to catch up and, but the Raiders are doing much better ever since they benched who? Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G.
I was like, Aiden O'Connell need to start. I saw him play in the preseason. I was like, Aiden O'Connell need to start. Well, Jimmy, they paid him all this. I don't care. Aiden O'Connell's a better quarterback. Antonio Pierce is a better coach. Josh McDaniels. Well, you know what's going to happen. If Bill Belichick doesn't leave New England, he's going to wind up back over there, provided he doesn't leave. But I digress.
Josh McDaniels don't need to be a head coach anymore. So anyway, let's go.
But I digress. So you had the Niners beating the Jaguars. But if you want to talk about close seconds, the Browns upsetting the Ravens and the Texans upsetting the Bengals were huge as well. I'm not taking nothing away from that because nobody saw that coming. The one that they didn't see coming was the Texans beating the Bengals. The Bengals were like cooking. They went into Houston and Houston said, "Oh no, sir. No, sir. We got something for you." D'Amico Ryans is coaching that team up. CJ Stroud, we're going to get into him a little bit later. CJ Stroud is like looking like the front runner for offensive rookie of the year. He's playing way above his head. He's breaking the Ohio State quarterback curse. He is shattering that curse because he looks like he's the real deal. And he's doing this against good teams as well. He's not out here doing this against scrubs. He's doing this against good teams. I kind of go with DeMarion a little bit when he says that. But I don't know if the reason why I can't put it above the Niners over the Jaguars is not because I'm a fan of the Niners, but because you got two heavyweight teams that are contenders that were playing each other, and that was a bounce back game for the Niners. And I still won't take anything away from Jacksonville. I still think they one of the best teams in the league. Still, even after that. So, but yeah, Tristan, what do you think?
For me, I would say the biggest one is the Texans versus the Bengals. I don't think anyone thought going into the season that the Texans would be where they were. We knew they were going to compete. When they were under Lovie Smith, they competed. So we knew that they were going to compete. We knew that. We were aware of that. But as far as just where they're at right now, I think they are above 500, right?
I think so.
Being
Yeah.
above 500, uh, CJ Stroud is not the front runner. That is his award. We're just waiting for the ESPYs to come over, and they're going to hand it to him. There's not another offensive rookie close to get that award this season.
No, I agree.
The Texans are 5-4, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, above 500. I mean, we knew they were going to compete. They competed last year. We knew they were going to compete, but again, like I share the same sentiments Eric said. I mean, C.J. Stroud is breaking the Ohio State curse. I almost want to feel like if he transferred from somewhere, because they like to cling on to Joe Burrow, even though Joe Burrow did all his damage at LSU, but they like to cling to him. But they can actually cling to an Ohio State fully committed Ohio State quarterback being a success in the NFL. It's amazing. And it goes to show you. I think it also goes to show you how we need to look at the Wonderlic test. They said he had one of the lowest scores they've seen, but clearly people that are test takers, might be bad test takers, but when you put them on the field on display, clearly that doesn't bother him. You see him being decisive. You see the playmaking ability. It honestly, I think I kept telling people, I said, watch the Georgia tape. When he played against Georgia, it told you everything you needed to know about who he was going to be in the league. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah. Now, actually, I agree with you on that one. Texas over Bengals. Uh, Stroud not only, like you said, is just out there executing. The ground game has not been where I thought it would be, knowing that they are running a Shanahan related system. Their OC was part of the Washington Redskins staff, old Washington Redskins staff when Mike Shanahan was the head coach and Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator. Um, and he was also in San Francisco as well, around Kyle Shanahan. So I know he runs that Shanahan related offense. But the
Bobby
ground
Scott.
game has not been where I thought it would be by now. Um, he has a veteran tight end, Dalton Schultz, who can catch, but he's not like a playmaker tight end. Don't have true playmakers at wide receiver. I mean, the guys just out there just doing their job, catching the ball, which is good, but it's not like there's a Devontae Adams there or Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson down there in Houston.
I'm,
So
I'm
for
gonna wait. Hold on, just a second. I'm gonna have to jump in on you on that. Tank Dell is his one of his receivers, and this kid, he's a rookie. That's why he doesn't get the recognition, but he could be a Terry McLaurin or a Devontae Smith type of player. He could be that good.
he's a burner, right?
Huh? He's a burner, but he's also a possession guy. He's special. He came out of the University of Houston. He's a hometown product, but keep your eye on Tank Dell.
Okay, no problem. No
So
problem. No problem.
he does have a bona fide threat in Tank Dell. Yeah.
Okay. So Tank Dell's developing, no problem. But even and trust me, I'm not knocking what you just told me. He's still developing. We haven't got him to be that type of receiver yet. Um, look, Noah Brown can catch. but Noah Brown is not that. It's not going to be a WR1 anywhere he goes. I mean, he was in Dallas. The only reason why he was a number two in Dallas last year was because there was nobody else to be a number two. Michael Gallup had not recovered from the ACL. They had to pull T.Y. Hilton off the couch in December. Amari Cooper was 1 year had just left, so there was nobody else to be in WR2. And Noah Brown was in Dallas now; he would not be a two. But now Noah Brown can block. I'll give you that. But no, this what Stroud is doing. This is him. This is him, and they just need to spend every offseason building around him. Make sure that offensive line is able to protect him. Uh, keep being a good play caller for him. Make sure that defense can hold team under 21 points, under 24 points every game, and Houston look like they might have a bright future. So I mean Cincinnati is a team that we all had at least in the top three, at worst four in the conference at the beginning of the season. So for Houston to do that, that says a lot.
He's yeah, I had picked Houston, I believe, to finish second in division behind Jacksonville.
I think I did too.
I think we all did. But they just kind of living up to our prognostication of that division. And here's the thing, they could threaten Jacksonville.
Yeah. Well, they look. Jacksonville is kind of. I mean, Trevor Lawrence kind of struggling a little bit this season with some interceptions.
Yeah, I
They
remember what I
really
said
could.
about Trevor Lawrence. Remember what I said. I ain't saying he ain't good. I'm just saying all this generational. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen what people keep talking about, this generational talent. I ain't saying he a bum.
Don't
I
let
ain't saying he a
don't
scrub.
let Nick Wright hear you say that, because he called
Yeah, I
him the
know.
prince that was promised.
I know. I ain't saying he a scrub. I just don't see where the generational talent comes in. I haven't seen it.
No, I get it. I get it. Trust me, I get it. And Tristan, a lot of times, man, you don't miss on quarterbacks, man. You don't miss on quarterbacks coming out of college. Um, Jackson, like I said, Trevor Lawrence is so Houston,
He was worthy. He was worthy of the number one pick. He
right,
was the best quarterback prospect coming out of that class.
right.
So I'm not saying like Jacksonville made a mistake or anything like that. I think he's going to be fine. I just don't. I don't think of the upper echelon of talented quarterbacks like he is up there. He's got all the tools, but I don't see that generate when you. For me, and I think people just use the term so loosely. When you said a generational talent at the quarterback position, one of the first names that comes to mind for me is Andrew Luck. When I
Yes.
watched him at Stanford, I was like, he has no business playing college football. That's what I that's what I felt watching him play football at the quarterback position. I'm like, you had no business doing that. When you watch Peyton Manning at Tennessee, you're like, you don't need to play another down at Tennessee. You just need to sit and get ready for the NFL. There's certain players where you're just like generation. When you put that tag, generational talent, I'm looking for you to do something groundbreaking. Whether your physical tools are groundbreaking, like Josh Allen has many mistakes, and I know we're going to get into him. As much mistakes as he makes, I look at him as a generational talent. So for that kind of size, that kind of arm, Patrick Mahomes, same ordeal, that kind of talent, that's generational. Like you won't see that for a good while. There are quarterbacks that I see that are better than Trevor Lawrence. I don't even put him as the best quarterback that ever came out of Clemson. I still give that to Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Steve, we are talking about statement games that was made this week 10. Um, who had the biggest statement game? Brandon and Tristan say it was the Texans upsetting the Bengals. And I said it was the Niners bouncing back and blowing the Jags out.
I would say the Texans. Now I gotta go back to generational with Josh. He's not generational. He's just more physical. He's not. I don't think he's that special. I never thought he was that special. So generational, I can't say Josh Allen. Now Pat Mahomes for sure. Allen, nah. He's
I'm saying
taller.
as far
He's a different
yeah
build as other people,
yeah I
but
say as far as the physical tools, the physical tools. And to me, I'm like you don't see too many people come out physically the way he is. That's what I meant by that, Steve.
okay.
Well, Trevor Lawrence has 9 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. He's 18th in QBR, 16th, excuse me, in QBR.
Yeah, he's struggling this year.
Well, I think with the Jaguars, I think he's a really, really good quarterback. I think they have a lot of other issues.
I agree. Calvin Ridley
Mainly,
hasn't lived up to what he was supposed to be for him.
You ain't lying.
Now,
You
yeah,
ain't lying.
yeah, and even the play calling, like Jacksonville, they have a pretty good record right now, but they can be better than what they are if they just. I think it's coaching. I mean, every team it comes down to coaching, right?
yep.
And they're lacking with that right now, as far
Yeah.
as play design,
But you
OC
know,
defense is decent, but you know ETN
I,
is underperforming big time, which is ridiculous. He's healthy. They're not even using him the way they should be using him.
I'm surprised Jacksonville's struggling on offense so much because Doug Peterson should have no problems running an offense. And I thought that they was going to take the next step this season. The way they played towards the end of last season, but that has not happened yet. And I don't know why they have taken a step back, but they have, even though they have the division lead.
I still like them to win this division.
Yeah, but like but I forgot who just read the numbers for Trevor Lawrence just now, but that's not good, man. 9 touchdowns and how many games? Six
Nine,
interceptions.
6 interceptions. Now he threw 2 this past week. He just threw 2 this week. So before that, it was about 4.
But
Which
but
is
I feel like and O line again shows what you can do as a QB. If he had a clean pocket, I think he could perform a lot better. He has the weapons offensively. He just running for his life, man. I mean, 3 points. It's not him. He has no protection. To be
Okay,
honest,
okay, that's what's
Who,
going on
who
now.
who's this again? I'm having a brain fart. Who we talking about?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence.
Oh yeah, the scheme. Yeah, the scheme isn't the scheme. Doug Peterson's
There's
got
no
to do something
protection.
different. Yeah, he has no protection, and he's not utilizing. Honestly, when you look at the squad, he needs to be sitting right underneath Sean Payton and be like, "What did you do with the Saints when you had Alvin Kamara and all them people over there? And
Yeah,
how can I implement that?" Because
yeah,
you got Travis Etienne. If people remember, I used to call Travis Etienne a baby Alvin Kamara. I'm like, he does the same things, just not
hmm
as strong as him, but he does the same things, and you
yeah,
can utilize him. He is underutilized in that offense.
No,
yeah,
he
And
man.
really is because we talked about Evan Ingram late last season to the offseason. Like, yo, this is a fast tight end that can catch the ball. Dude, you had Zach Ertz in Philadelphia. You had Gardner in Philadelphia. Like, why you not doing the same
Now,
thing with Ingram that you did with those guys? Then, like I said, Calvin really has completely underperformed. So it's just, that offense is not clicking the way everybody thought it would be going into the season.
well, it's clicking. It's just they went against San Fran's defense, man, and shit. Dallas ain't do much better, to be
Well,
completely
that's true.
honest.
That's true.
San Fran has a hell of a defense,
Yeah, they
and
do. Yeah, they do.
they
I mean,
they do. They did
it
this
is
week.
what it is. Oh, here he go.
I'm just saying they did this week.
Hey, look, hey, guys, just want to let y'all know. Eric did invite Steve Wilkes over to his house to have a beer.
No, I didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, the hell I didn't.
Listen, Eric relates that beer with I don't know what.
Yeah, he ain't gonna get no damn beer from me till he got to show me more than once. All right. So the Broncos lucky this weekend. They're starting to get their stuff together. I think it's. I don't think it was luck. I don't think it was luck. I think
Nah.
Sean Payton's coaching It takes a while for things to gel. Nathaniel Hackett had that team in ruins. Okay,
Ruined.
and it takes a while to get things built back up to where it looked like a building again. And Russell Wilson right now in the last 3 weeks has a QBR, has a passer rating of like 118. Okay, 6 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. That's coaching. This is the same Russell Wilson. We're seeing Russell Wilson start to look like he did when he was in Seattle.
Yep.
These last 3 weeks. Okay.
Hey,
They already had a good defense.
listen.
Okay. So yeah, it's not far-fetched. Did I think that they would beat the Bills? No.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing: I'm probably not gonna pick the Bills anymore this year after that debacle. But Denver is getting it together. Will it be enough to get in the playoffs? I doubt it. I doubt it.
Well, so I think the Bills and the Bengals are in the same situation. Look, these are teams, right? They drafted well about 3-4 years ago. Had a short window of a really young core that had to win. They have to win right now. And they're not doing it. They haven't done it in the past few years. So now we're getting to where people got to get extended, new contracts. It's like they've missed their window, some of these teams, man. Y'all know how I feel about the Bills. I support one guy on that team, and their window is closed, man. They're being exposed. They've been exposed
before it started.
I've called out the running game for the past few years on this podcast and publicly on Facebook, and they're losing it. Buffalo's the same way. Running back taking a pay cut. They're losing. The division's getting better. Those were win now teams because they haven't had the history of building and drafting well from their front office and developing. So they're about to miss the boat. Both of those teams are going to be terrible for another 5-6 years.
I said it before the season started.
Hey, listen, that game
before the season started. That window was closed for Buffalo.
That game, I was just going to say that game from last night was a tale of two teams who
one is rising, one is falling.
Exactly. Denver's rising slowly, and Buffalo's falling. And just like how Greg had just said a couple minutes ago, I don't know why people continue to trust Josh Allen. I've been the one. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I know I've been the one by myself, standing on the mountaintop, 10 toes down, chest out, not believing in Josh Allen. I never believed in Josh Allen. I never will. When he came out of college, I didn't like his completion percentage.
You weren't the only one.
His first 2 years, I didn't like his completion percentage. His third year, his completion percentage got better because I felt like Stephon Diggs made him. When you got a receiver that's a bona fide anchor wide receiver, WR1, that can run routes and catch the ball, yeah, your completion percentage is going to go up.
Well, it's not just that. It's they've crafted their offense based on his athleticism, and he isn't that. I mean, he's athletic, but they get lazy with play design because of what he can do with his legs and knocking over cornerbacks here and there. Now we get to the playoffs and playoff caliber teams. You got to play real football. You have to have a good game plan, good play design, and they've always lacked when it came to that because when he can't scramble, which is his second thought, he's in the pocket. Everyone's covered. The play, the whole drive just fizzles out, man. So that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing it, and they were good. They made a good decision with firing their OC because he's not calling the right plays for them. He's not.
Okay, and so this is a good opportunity for us to segue into our next topic because I want to let's get into our top 10 teams, and I'm gonna let you know right now, based off what we just said, and especially what I just said, I don't have Buffalo in my top 10.
Neither do I.
I don't have Buffalo as my top 10 teams after 10 weeks of football. Um, I I just see them spiraling out of control. This is it for them. Um, Trisha nailed on the head that the window has closed, and so
So
they're not my top 10.
so let's do this. We'll go. Everybody will go by your 10. Everybody will say they're 10. Then everybody will say they're 9. We'll go clockwise, starting with Brandon.
Okay, well then my 10
Yeah, Tristan, go.
is all good. He might be back, hopefully. 10. I got Jacksonville. Um, it was hard putting Jacksonville there. I probably could have put a couple other teams at 10, but I just got Jacksonville at 10. I don't know, man. It's just I I mean they are winning the division right now, but the offense is underperforming. But y'all said it's bad offensive line, bad play calling, and
And
so
they
it's
just played a good defense.
yeah. Well, not just that. Well, that too, and but we'll see what happens with Jacksonville moving forward. We'll see what happens with them moving forward. I got them number 10 though.
Okay, so basically, my rationale for my top 10 goes off of 3 categories. Okay, it's off of what your record is,
Mm-hmm.
how you played head to head against other people on this list, and then the quality of your wins. Okay, so we're gonna go with that. So my number 10 is the Miami Dolphins.
Mm.
They still aren't to be slept on. I was hemming and hawing back and forth over the fence between Jacksonville and Miami, but based on everything that we've just said about Jacksonville, I still like Miami better. Miami is still my top 10 team. Um, and I think they pretty much gonna run away with the AFC. So that's my 10. I mean, again, the Miami relays every time you play in a stadium. It's a damn track team out there.
Yes, it is.
Quietly has kept Raheem Mostert has I think he's like second in rushing touchdowns, and he's coming off the bench. This man's coming off the bench, and he's like second in rushing touchdowns in the league. Tyreek Hill is an offensive player of the year candidate. You know, so Tua Tagovailoa is like second or third in QBR and passing yards. You can't overlook that. And now you're starting to get some pieces back on defense that's led by Vic Fangio. You know, I like Miami right now. So that's Miami's my number 10. And I do realize they took some losses that they shouldn't have taken. That's why they're 10 and they're not high.
Well, actually, Miami took some losses, and we're gonna let Steve go next. Miami took some losses because
Yeah,
there might be a formula to kind of slow down the offense a little bit. But go ahead, Steve.
yeah. Miami's better than 10 in my opinion. I got Cincy at 10. Um, I mean, that's all I have to say. I mean, they're number 10 in my opinion. They're they're on their way. I think Miami's higher than them, a lot of other teams, but I think they're top 10 team in my opinion.
Okay.
I'll just say that.
Tristan. Tristan, number 10.
Yeah, I got the Bengals as well. Um, I just there's a I wanted to put them higher, but I'm just not completely sold on if they got the same swagger that they had the last couple of years where they can bounce back. I think they need to. I think they're gonna get into the playoffs and all that stuff or whatever. Joe Burrow is still cold. Jamar Chase is still cold. I get all that, but I think they are wearing themselves, relying on the fact like, oh, we're just gonna click back in and we're gonna make a deep run. I don't think they realize how good the rest of the AFC is, especially in their own division with the Ravens. So I have them at
That
10.
division is stacked. That division is definitely
Yes,
stacked.
yes,
That's a stacked
yes.
division. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do this snake order like you drafted for fantasy. So I'll start with 9, and Steve, then Tristan, and then Brandon, and then Steve will start with his 8. That's how we'll do it. We'll
Okay.
do it that way. So my number 9, I have the Dallas Cowboys. Um, you're 6-3, but you haven't beaten anybody at all. Not one winning team at all. Okay. When you do play a team that has a winning record that you can make a statement with, you lose. But you got to respect the record. You respect the record, but it's kind of like, okay, I'm undefeated in boxing, but I've been fighting kindergartners and I weigh 240. Like, okay, and so until they can make some statement games and start beating, and they got a slate coming up. This week is a cakewalk. It's another, they fighting some more kindergartners again. But later on in their schedule, they're going to see the Eagles again. They're going to see the Seahawks again. They're going to see there was another team that was on that was pretty good. But when they start beating those guys, then they can move up for me. But right now, the combined winning percentage of the teams that Dallas is beating is 3.388. That's bad. And it's like, okay, we them boys. Yeah, but this a man's game. I need you to play like you men. That's all I'm saying. So, and I know I'm about to piss off a whole bunch of people in Cowboy Nation. I don't give a damn. Facts is facts. Get over your feelings. You hadn't beaten a winning team this year.
We know you don't care. So I'm next, right?
Yes.
I don't have them that low.
I know you wouldn't.
Well, no, it's no, it's the NFL. So like every team's pro, and a win is a win.
Oh my God. I can't believe you said that.
No, it is.
I'm gonna let you finish.
I don't have them number 9. I think the conversation about what their winning record is should be at the end of the season because we're in the midst of the season. So we could say we beat the Jets, they have a winning record. We could say that. But all that aside, again, my number 9 team is gonna be probably gonna be, I'll say the Bills.
Wow.
I'll say the Bills.
I don't have them on my top 10.
I'm considering who they play against because I'm watching the games. I don't look at the result. So by you having teams ranked in different areas, if you watch the game, you see why they may have lost or won certain games. There's penalties, there's just the injuries, this, that, and that. I think the Bills are number 9
lead the league in the interceptions.
in my opinion. The team's performance, I think they're number 9.
I mean, you got a quarterback that leads the league in interceptions, though. Like,
and turnovers overall.
Yeah.
Well, Dak had that, and we were the number 8 team last year. So what's the conversation?
Okay. T-Money, number 9.
For number 9, I actually is gonna sound weird, but for number 9, I actually have the Seahawks. I think outside of Geno, I know Geno's had some. This past game was a little rough for him, and he's definitely not the guy he was last season. But what I'm looking at the defense, I'm looking at what that secondary. I'm looking at Witherspoon, who's trying to flirt with trying to become defensive rookie of the year. I'm looking at the offense with the run game. I think Pete Carroll, he just knows how to push a certain button to make his team go. And I'm not expecting a deep playoff run with them, but I think they'll be a team that has some spoilers. I think with this rich QB class coming up, I think they're going to probably flirt with an idea of getting one of these talented guys because I think at least 5, 6 of these guys are better than Geno Smith, and he's on a friendly contract that if they can land somebody, it's not going to hurt them to either trade him or cut him.
Hey, I ain't mad at you on them wanting to draft a quarterback this season because Geno has come back down to earth. The only backup they have is Drew Lock. So yeah, they definitely going to probably draft a quarterback. Um, I thought about having Seattle at number 10. I just didn't. Um, I put Cincinnati at number 9. And outside of losing to Houston, they try to, bounce back. They took a loss, so that puts them down to 9. But we'll just see what happens with them moving forward. I mean, it is what it is right now. I think Eric brought up a good point during the offseason when we discussed AFC North. Cincinnati losing their safeties and how it might affect them, and losing Jesse Bates probably hurt them more than people realize. No one talks about it, but losing Jesse Bates hurt more than they realize. T Money. Who you got at? Is it T Money? No, Steve.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. Who you got at number 8?
Number 8, I got Dallas.
Okay.
Haven't beat enough great opponents. I think there are only 2 teams better in the NFC, which is San Fran and Philly based on record. But in the whole league, they're number 8 in my opinion. Not better than any other teams on my list. So yeah, they're number 8 right now.
Okay.
Tristan.
I got the Cleveland Browns at number 8. Myles Garrett right now, I think, is leading for defensive player of the
Boy,
year.
look here.
I love what he's doing. Not only is he dominant throughout the game, but he closes the game, and that's key. You got to have a closer on both sides of the ball. Deshaun Watson showed some flashes of old Deshaun Watson. We'll see if that is a trend going up. Still like their running game. I think them bringing back Kareem Hunt was like an obviously smart move after what happened with Nick Chubb.
It was a no-brainer.
Yeah, definitely a no-brainer. But they also had that kind of grit for them to come back the way they did. This past weekend, they're definitely a team that can hurt some people's playoff chances. For sure, especially if Deshaun Watson's rounding out back in the form, for sure.
Especially in that conference, man. They're gonna hurt some teams in the conference.
Yeah, they.
Number
Brandon,
8.
Yeah, it's on you, Brandon.
I got Houston. I don't know. Maybe I might be ahead of myself. I get it.
Oh, that's both. Now they trending up.
What?
They are definitely trending up.
But man, hey, we had a conversation all season, man. This could be the new Detroit Lions, man. The
number 8 overall in the league.
Yep.
I know that's bold.
Yep.
That's ambitious.
They could be the 2021 Detroit Lions, man. When Dan Campbell was
right now, they're number 8 in the league right now.
Yeah, I would have
said maybe next year.
Right. I'm not poo-pooing what you're saying, Brandon.
But
not right now. Not right now. They gotta do something.
I hear you.
You are poo-pooing. You right now. Okay.
Not right now. Because I hear what you're saying about how they trending up and how they're
doing well.
Yeah.
They number 8? Not even okay.
I know, but when I kept looking at some of the other teams that I mean, like I said, could be some others ahead of them. Cincy could be ahead of them. Jacksonville could be ahead of them. Seattle could be ahead of them.
Well, Jacksonville is ahead of them.
Well, you know what I mean. But I don't know, man. I don't know why I'm liking Houston more than I'm liking the rest of these teams.
I like Houston too. I think they're doing great.
I don't know, man. It's something. I don't know, man. Something telling me to like Houston at number 8.
4, I can't put them at that high. No,
I know.
Man.
I get it. I hear you.
They're in that next tier underneath that. Like we were talking about 11, 12, 13,
right.
something like that.
Second tier for sure.
Yeah, I can see that.
Top of the second tier.
Listen, I hear you. And I'm not gonna argue against you. No, I'm not. But I don't know, man. I'm just liking Houston. Maybe I just like Houston a lot more than y'all do.
I see what you're saying. I respectfully disagree. I understand why you said what you said. I do understand why you saying what you're saying.
Yeah, it's definitely valid.
Yeah, but it's a little early. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
Hey man, the party started at 9. Brandon at 7:30. Just yeah. So yeah. All right. So we are 7, right? No. Yeah. Did I get my number 8?
Yeah. Who's number 8? Real quick.
Okay. My number 8 is I got Cincinnati at number 8.
Okay.
Okay. The Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, I still like Joe Burrow when he's healthy. I mean, if there's a quarterback right now, and this is a bold statement, okay, so prepare yourself for it. In that division, out of the quarterbacks in that division, if the game is on the line, who do I trust more? Is Joe Burrow. With that group of receivers, even though they don't throw T. Higgins the ball enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, because that's killing me in fantasy this year.
Boy, man, what? You got him too? Man.
Yes.
I was on the watching the game. Hey, T. Higgins open. T. Higgins open. Hey man, T. Higgins open, dog. He's 7-11 too. They got more than 7-11.
I'm like, yo, you got 3 wide receivers. Throw it to one of them.
Man, so but that being said, when it comes out to quarterback play, and at this point, even though Deshaun is starting to play better.
Hey, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar is still acting a fool, you know. When the game's on the line, though, I still like Joe Burrow better. I still like that complement of receivers. And the defense is not as good as it was, but it's adequate.
Yes.
So, you know, I got Cincinnati as my number 18.
All right. T7.
Somebody you mentioned?
So 7, I put I still have the Dolphins at 7. I know they kind of had a couple hiccups here and there. Not as potent. You know, we thought they were going for record breaking numbers at the beginning of the season. But I just believe you have that kind of firepower. You're gonna give yourself an opportunity to win games. If they can get home field advantage, I mean, like I say, you see what's going on with the Bills. We already know what's happening with the Jets, and God knows we know what's happening with the Patriots. So, I mean, you have a chance that you
number
can
4 overall
get one of those high spots. Exactly, you have a chance to get one of those high spots for the playoffs. You know, anything can happen if you give them a comfortable space to play in. To have Tyreek Hill's a menace, Waddle. Just you got NASCAR all over the field, so and the defense is good. So Jalen Ramsey looked like he's kind of putting him back to form. Who I guess he just needed a defensive coordinator to put him in the right spots.
And as long as they don't have Eli Apple on the field, that defense gonna be all right.
They're gonna be all right. So
Eli Apple, Lord have mercy. Everybody's favorite cornerback.
So number 7. Yeah, so number 7, Dolphins for me.
All right, Brandon.
Everybody's favorite cornerback of all time, Eli Apple. Better than prime time, baby.
Lord, hell, stop the slander. Okay, but Brandon,
hey, number 7, I got Dallas. You know, I just want them. I mean, they got a good winning record. I like it. I know there's some tough teams coming up, but one of those teams that should be tough, Buffalo. Man, I feel like we can beat them. The way they're acting right now.
You got a quarterback giving the ball away at an exponential rate, and you got a secondary who's like 3rd in takeaways, I believe. A defense that's 3rd in takeaways, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So I feel like Dallas can beat Buffalo down the road, but man, I got Dallas number 7. I mean, obviously San Francisco gives them a tough time. I just wish they didn't fall into that trap game against Arizona, but it is what it is. But yeah, Dallas number 7. E.
All right. For number 7, I had the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay.
I hate them with a vicious, visceral hatred. However, I'm sitting down watching their games, and it ain't about Geno Smith. It's about their running game, and it's about how well that defense is playing. The Seattle's, and I keep talking about Seattle's secondary, is scary. You know, I have a penchant for defensive backs. I love watching defensive backs. That's my thing. And let me tell you something. All the way across the board, even into their reserves, their secondary scares me. So if you want to fling it all over the yard, or if you feel like you want to play hero ball and get careless with the ball, they're going to take it.
Yes.
They're not the Legion of Boom anymore. They're like we're like thieves in the night. That's how they play. And if Geno Smith protects the ball, which he kind of sort of does, hopefully he'll throw about 7-8 interceptions when he plays us the next 2 times. But when Geno Smith can protect the ball, the defense can do what it does. As long as you don't call zero blitzes like Washington did, because they could have beaten Seattle, and Seattle would have been way down on his list had that happened. But well, what's his face? Del Rio decides to call a zero blitz, and they gonna play man to man with DK Metcalf, who just boxes out the smaller corner, on a slant, and it's like stupid, but
Stupid.
but still, I like Seattle's defense. It's not even so much about Geno Smith in the passing game; it's the running game and the defense in Seattle. And that, hey man, I always talk about when you going into December and January into the playoffs, which they're probably going to make the playoffs. You got to pack your defense and your running game.
Yep.
And they have both.
Yep.
So I got Seattle as my number 7.
And real quick, before you go, Steve, I just want to say about Seattle, about Pete Carroll, I got to give him credit for how he has revamped his defense as far as the foundation, the philosophy, even coverage philosophy, the front seven and the coverage philosophy. I got to give him credit for making those changes, because if he hadn't made those changes, Seattle wouldn't be what they are today, and he wouldn't be coaching Seattle right now. Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. So number 7, I have Jacksonville. I
Okay.
had Dallas at number 8. I think Jacksonville's better based off of how they played the league. It's not based off of who plays better against who I have ranked higher. It's off of how you perform against the rest of the league. And Jacksonville, aside from last week, I mean, they went against a tough team last week, but I think they're better than Dallas consistently.
Right. Okay.
They win the division. They will win it. Dallas won't. Based on how it's looking, and I mean, it's just that simple, in my opinion.
Okay. T.
That's what we differ right there when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, Steve. I still think Dallas is better than Jacksonville. I still believe that. So, but go ahead.
I hear that, but I'm like, I mean, we dropped to Arizona, and it's just like you never know what day off Dallas will take. Jacksonville been grinding. They lost to you guys just like we did. Got smashed both times. So, I mean, I think just better, over a body of this season's work.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Jacksonville lost to Houston earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken.
And we almost did last year. And our roster isn't better than last year's, in my opinion.
Okay. All right. So you got Jacksonville. So Tristan, number 7, 6. I lost track. Oh my God.
We're on 6.
We're on 6. Okay, 6. Okay.
Yeah, we're on 6. So 6 is where I have the Dallas Cowboys. I have them at 6 because I'm judging them on what they need to do in the playoffs. I don't care about the regular season at all for the Cowboys. You guys have had a winning record in the regular season forever and a day. So I don't really care about that. I want to know what's going on in the playoffs. So you're beating teams. You still haven't beaten a team that can really give y'all a go, but you're beating the teams that you're supposed to beat. You're almost obliterating the ones that you're supposed to obliterate. So that's why I got them at 6. If they were successful against like San Fran or something like that, like I probably would have had them a little higher, because I do see and respect the firepower that's on the offensive side of the ball. CeeDee Lamb looks like he's starting to come into his own.
He's
as
having
being
a
the
season.
number one receiver.
Yeah, he's
So
having a
I respect that. Y'all definitely gonna be drafting a running back late, either mid rounds or late rounds for sure. Um,
Definitely.
but I do respect the firepower, and I'm giving Dak Prescott his due. I mean, he's playing. I mean, when he messes up, I'll criticize him, but I'll give him his props when he's playing well. He's balling. Um, so yeah, so Dallas is at 6 for me.
All right. I got San Fran at number 6. Um, they destroyed Jacksonville this past weekend. Um, I just think the 3-game losing streak kind of hurt, but they were able to bounce back. So I got them number 6, and I expect them to continue to climb up in the coming weeks, no matter what the rest of the season.
all right. My number 6 is I have the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
I would have had them higher had they not dropped that game to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland looks like they got the blueprint to beat the Ravens, and the Ravens were on a tear before this game.
Mm-mm.
They were on a tear before this game, and Cleveland jumped on them, and basically they showed that their defense can match up well with Baltimore's offense. They was a back and forth, but when they need to make the stops and get the turnovers that they needed to get, they did that against a very, very good Baltimore team. That's why I have Baltimore at 6. Because again, the way I did mine was based off of record, head to head against teams already on the list, and the quality of your wins and the games that you won. So it was a kind of like this with Baltimore and Cleveland, but Baltimore I have at my number 6.
Steve, 6.
6. I got Cleveland. I can't say Baltimore. Baltimore should have won that. If a wide open professional receiver didn't drop that pass, they would have won that game. Baltimore's still better. I'll put Cleveland right there.
Okay. T, did you do your 6? I think so.
Yeah, I did.
So
Okay, so we're at 5.
5, me. I got the Dolphins.
I ain't do
Um,
my 5.
oh, you didn't?
So Tristan's on Tristan to do 5, then it's on you, Brandon.
Okay, my bad. So T, go to number 5. Then my bad.
My 5, I got the Detroit Lions at 5.
Okay.
I I believe in the culture that Dan
Yes.
Campbell has established there. I think I think Hutchinson's gonna have kind of like the arc like Miles Garrett. Like it took a moment for Miles Garrett to really come in to his own. I think Hutchinson's gonna be the same way. I know they dealt with some injuries. That defense is actually better than what's advertised. But I know they dealt with some injuries on that side of the ball.
Especially in the
Uh,
secondary.
yeah, exactly. Dave Montgomery is a beast, but I wish they would use the kid, the running back they drafted. I just
Gibbs.
don't know. I don't know how you draft a running back that high and don't utilize him. And when he's in there, he's a game changer. So I know David Montgomery's like steady. It's like having a Toyota Camry. It's just it's a steady vehicle. It gets you where you need to go. But man, when you got that Ferrari in the sideline kicking dust, it don't make no sense. But other than that, I believe in what they're doing over there in Detroit. In the draft, I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to maybe get another offensive lineman. They definitely nailed it with the left tackle, but I think they got another offensive lineman and another receiver. Um, in the draft, they would really could shake some things up next year. But I got them at 5 right now.
Okay. 5, I got Miami. Look like they're gonna win that division with no problems. Um, but there's a formula to kind of slow down our offense. But every team's not gonna have that formula. So um, I got Miami number 5.
My number 5 is the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion, but I mean, defense. Their defense is extremely underrated. Uh, and they don't get the credit. The number 5 in points allowed. I want to say that they're number 6. Wait a minute. I think it's no. I'm sorry. They're number 1 in yards allowed, and number 5 in points allowed. And they've been able to keep the team afloat when Deshaun Watson wasn't playing. When they had to go to their third string quarterback and everything, they're still out there doing. I mean, God, they beat my team. I mean, it wasn't for that punk ass kicker. I'm sorry. If it wasn't for Jake Moody, the Niners probably would have won. But the fact that it had to come down to a last minute field goal, um, you know, the issue is that they held the 49ers in check. And that's not anything to sneeze at. Then they come out and then they played someone like Lamar Jackson, as dynamic as Lamar Jackson, and that Baltimore offense, and held them in check. You know, they deserve some more respect on their names. Myles Garrett is one of my favorites to actually win the defensive player of the year this year, because he's leading that defense. And I mean, I got to go with Cleveland right now. They don't get enough respect. They really don't. And like one of the commenters said, if Deshaun Watson starts to play like they paid him, it's going to be a problem. Because if right now they're riding the defense, but what happens when the quarterback play gets to be a little bit more dynamic? It's going to really be a problem. And like I said, I've always said, there's a power shift going on in the AFC North. Even though Baltimore is still extremely good, that division is punch, take a punch, take a punch every week almost. So, yeah, let's keep it rolling. I got the Browns at 5.
Steve,
The Lions, they should be ranked lower, but they have a good record, even though they have a terribly weak schedule. But they're winning. They're number 5. They should be lower. Like I said, everyone I will rank next is better than them by far. I think some teams ranked lower than them are better than them, but I'll give them 5 for right now. So that's all I got.
All right. Tristan.
number 4.
Number 4, I got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs at 4. It's real simple. They ain't got no wide receivers. I mean, it's Travis Kelsey, Patrick Mahomes, or bust. Pacheco can't even be effective because they gonna crowd the box because they ain't got no receivers. So it almost sucks that their record is where it's at right now, because you would almost want them to kind of suck a little bit so they can get Kevin Coleman out of Florida State, because they ain't gonna be able to get Marvin Harrison Jr. They ain't gonna be that bad.
No,
but you would, if you're a Chiefs fan, you would almost want them to try to see if they can get Kevin Coleman from Florida State, because you need a dominant receiver. You need a number 1. You need a number 1, 2, and 3. You ain't got none.
All right, number what is it? 4. I got Detroit. Like Tristan said, man, that culture is just everything right now. He said everything that part what I want to say. I noticed they added Bruce Irvin to the practice squad. I think once he gets his legs underneath him for the stretch run, I think he'll be able to help out Aiden Hutchinson as far as being able to rush the quarterback. He may not be as fast as he once was, but I'm sure he still has some very good speed. He's a veteran. He won when he was in Seattle. He'd be able to bring that to Detroit. And Jared Goff is if the Jared Goff. I'm gonna end up saying something. I'm not gonna say it tonight, but I'm gonna end up saying something about Jared Goff. And y'all just gonna like what I got to say about Jared Goff. I've kind of said it to you guys already, but I'm saving it for a podcast for another night.
Okay. All right. So my number 4, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
I would have them basically as the number 2 team on this list, except for the fact that there's still a question with the defense in that 3-game skid that should have never happened. The defense played a huge part in that. Steve Wills coming down from the booth to the sideline made a difference this week, but let's see if it's going to last. That being said, when they clicking on all cylinders, Jesus, you can't beat them when they really clicking. But the question is are they going to continue to click? Is the defense going to continue to click? There's questions in the secondary, and then there's questions along the offensive line. So basically, yeah, that's I got the Niners at 4.
Steve,
I got Philly at 4. A very beatable team. I think the Niners would kill them. They would have killed them last year with Brock Purdy healthy. We would have beat them given certain circumstances. Got them at 4.
Tristan?
Are we on 3 or 4? Because I feel like we're on 3.
So yeah, you're on 3 now.
You're on 3.
Okay. 3. I have the 49ers. I only have that because I just gotta see what it looks like if Brock Purdy gotta win the game. I just gotta see it. I ain't saying he can't. I just gotta see it. Because when everything's clicking on all cylinders for the 49ers, Debo's balling, Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. Now you got the 2 bookends with Bosa and Young. Like everything, Fred Warner is a man child out there. So I just when everything's clicking, I mean, you're just asking Brock Purdy to be point guard, but I just want to see what it looked like when he really got to be the guy. So that's the only reason why I have him at 3, and that 3-game skid it still left a little sour taste in my mouth with them. So that's why I got him at 3, but they could easily climb into the 1 or 2 slot.
Number 3, I got Kansas City. We addressed the offense, but man, that defense. Hey, Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator, he was with the Giants in 2007 when they beat the undefeated Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
But he's doing a little bit different this year. He's still only rushing 4, but this time is more of a little bit of a zone blitz. He might rush. He might send 4, but he's either going to send a linebacker or a DB, and then he's going to drop one. And
I mean, this is definitely better coaching job than back then. I mean, realize
because
OT Umenyiora, Justin Tuck.
Yep. Because that 2007 he had they said Strahan, Umenyiora, Tuck, and Kiwanuka that year. JPP was in 11, and Strahan was already retired. But like I said, he'll send a linebacker and a DB and drop back a defensive lineman like George Karlaftis. And so he's doing a little bit different. And a lot of those players on their defense are homegrown players. They're young, and they just getting the job done. So it's a different defense than like I said, in 2007. So just like Pete Carroll, changing up, how they run their defense and still performing well. So I gotta give credit where credit's due to these 2 coaches.
So yeah, the Chiefs are tied for first in points allowed in defense. They're tied for first. They're like nobody's really paying attention to the Chiefs. Defense. It's all about Pat Mahomes and Travis Swift. I said that right. But yeah, this defense is not nothing to play with, man. They statistically are very good. Nobody's paying attention. Okay. So for my number 3, I have the Detroit Lions. And they're 7-1 or 7-2, excuse me. And they are winning the games they're supposed to win. And I mean, even though that game last week against the Chargers, it was like, be honest, how many of y'all were watching that game going, Detroit gonna win this game? Even though it seemed like a back and forth pitch battle, you still in the back of your head was going, Detroit finna win this game. Detroit about to win this game, and they're the type of team where they got to this point in their progression where they might play a team that on paper looks better than them, but because of how gritty they play, you can't count them out. They could beat they could beat they could beat a San Francisco. They could beat no, don't do that. Put some respect on their name. They can beat those types of teams. They have the ability to beat an Eagles. They have the abilities to beat a 49ers team. So, like, people are looking at them going, yeah, but me and Brandon, we were by ourselves about 2 years ago, weren't we, Brandon?
Yep.
We like, hey, man, you better watch Detroit. And people are thinking, oh, shit, Detroit done beat us. That's what's going to happen.
So we also have Detroit's potential, but they're playing the Bears twice. Are they good?
No.
They're playing the Packers twice. Are they good?
No.
They're playing the Vikings twice. Are they good?
Hell, Dallas played the Giants twice. Are they good?
We played the Eagles twice.
Okay, you lost.
So I don't know why this is a Dallas conversation. I saw how you went there. I saw you went there, but
no, I'm drawing parallels. You talking about the quality of the teams they beat.
This is a Detroit conversation. I don't know how Dallas got roped into this one,
but I'm using them for an example. That's what I'm saying. But the record's better.
But look at their schedule. I said it in our Marco Polo group. Look at their schedule. It's favorable to them. They're going to win a lot of games. That's what I said. And that's what they're doing. And they should do that. But, again, they're not even in my top 10, to be completely honest. Based off of their schedule, not their potential, how much their coach is fired up, how good they're – it's not based on any of that. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Number 3, I got San Fran. Number 3. Championship defense.
This week, anyway.
Well, most weeks. I mean, to be honest, they're a tough opponent. I mean, I can't put Detroit over them because of their record. Like, you got to look at who they play. You pointed out how we played New York twice and killed them. Look at the opponents and how they perform against quality opponents. And Detroit hasn't done that, man. At least, listen, if we drop again to the Eagles, which hopefully we won't, if we do, another loss against who's deemed as a top 4 or 5 opponent in the entire league. Detroit don't got that. Anyways, number 3, San Fran, defense championship. Had some issues recently, but when they're locked in, they're locked in. And some teams, to be honest, in the playoffs, they're totally different teams. We could say regular season, this is that and that. NBA is the same way. Once the playoffs start, they transform, man. And they're legends for a reason. So I see it happening with San Fran. I see it happening with KC and Pat Mahomes. And yeah, number 3, San Fran.
I'm a skeptic until they do it. That's because I didn't. Yeah, I'm just a skeptic. So, Tristan, who's your 3?
I'm on number 2. I thought we did 3.
Oh, yeah, you're 2. Yeah, you're 2. So yeah, we started with you.
My number two is still the Ravens. Because I believe that their defense is good overall. They need a closer on defense. They need someone that's gonna make the decision to shut it down when it's ready to close out the game. But their defense is still good. I believe in Lamar Jackson. I know people were kind of concerned with the turnovers he's had this season, but a lot of them have kind of been fluky turnovers, just depending on different situations that would come up and happen. So I have the Ravens at 2. I think they can right the ship on some of that stuff and really make a deep run in the playoffs.
Okay.
Number 2, I got Philadelphia. Good team, but I think they're beatable. Jalen Hurts has been struggling a little bit more this year. Their secondary is Philadelphia secondary. I got nothing to say about their secondary, man. Their secondary is just not it's not good at all. And if you can block them up front, and you got a play caller slash play designer, you got a quarterback, you got the receivers, you can eat on Philadelphia's secondary all day long, man.
Okay, so your number two, you have who?
Philly.
Philly. Okay. All right. All right. My number two, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, I mean, you got to deal with Patty Moe. I don't care who his receivers are. He makes them better. He's kind of like remember those years Brady kind of had those no name receivers, but still was going to Super Bowls before Randy Moss. You know,
Troy Brown, David Patton,
yeah,
Deion Branch.
those guys. That's kind of what Patty Moe is doing right now. But the defense is helping him because the Kansas City Chiefs are winning. They're winning different from how they used to win. They're not bombs away. We're gonna put 40 on you, nothing like that. It's like, okay, we're gonna play controlled, sensible football on offense, and then we're gonna let our defense get the ball back for us. Their defense wasn't that good, and they used to have to just win track meets. They don't have to do that anymore. So yeah, I like the Chiefs. They're my second best team in the league because it's not that they're not winning; it's just they're winning different. If it makes sense.
Yes, it does.
I mean, and they took an L to Detroit Lions, but that's why I have them as number two. So, but yeah, so there you go. That's my number two.
Steve.
I got the Chiefs, man. Um, they're struggling offensively with the new OC.
Facts.
They have a really good defense. They're still doing their thing on defense, but they're still figuring things out, man. Offensively, no receivers are stepping up. They're still winning games, finding a way. But I think they're not the best team right now. Right now, so they usually catch fire late in the season. We'll see what happens, but right now they're not the best, man.
All right.
T number one.
My number one team is the Philadelphia Eagles. I know they don't look like the juggernaut that they were last year, going all the way to the Super Bowl, but I think that's actually kind of given me even more of a reason why I put them at number one because they've still been finding ways to win these games. Um, their defensive line, though aging, they still know how to close out. Um, it always seems like when they're in a real bad pinch, AJ Brown between Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, they find ways. AJ Brown is really what Seattle wants DK Metcalf to be.
Yeah.
To be quite honest,
AJ Brown is what DK Metcalf was supposed to have been.
it's so it's when you got a weapon like that, it's you put yourself in a pinch. You got somebody like that, you're going to win the game. I mean, that's what happened with us when they played against Washington. Washington really could have won that game, but AJ Brown just said no. Basically, it was like, no, you're not winning this. So that's why I have them number one because I feel like even with everything they've been going through with the season not really clicking, I think they're the kind of team that it gets hot at the right time, and they have the pedigree to do it for the playoffs. So I think they're going to be probably be arguably be the most dangerous team going into the postseason.
All right, number one. I got Baltimore. I know they lost to Cleveland. Um, but man, that new OC, Todd, got his name already. Anyway, I know it's Todd, but he got playing for Lamar Jackson, and I think that's going to be something dangerous for a lot of teams moving forward. You're going to have to keep the offense off the field. Defensively, um, That's another team that like the zone blitz as well. Um, they're gonna be fine though. They're gonna be fine. But I got them at number one. E.
I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
They're the best team in the NFC right now until otherwise proven otherwise. But like Tristan said, um, and they still are finding ways to win games. It's crazy. Like they find ways to do it different ways. And yeah, I do agree with you, Brandon, about their secondary being a little bit suspect. But and you say, well, if you could block their front seven, is like, yeah, but can you block their front seven? I mean, the Eagles.
The main people you need to block right now in Philadelphia up front is Carter and Reddick.
Yeah, the Eagles defense is similar to how put together similar to how the 49ers defense is. Like you get questions in the secondary, you do. But that front seven is like if you can block their front seven, but like damn, can you block their front seven? So and you know, Jalen Hurts is he's an MVP candidate. And until proven otherwise, right now they're the best team in the NFC right now, and I think they're the best team in the league. I mean, a very close to the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs are close second to the Eagles, in my opinion.
Okay.
On my list, yeah, very close. We're gonna find out this weekend as we get to my picks.
Steve, you last one.
So I documented these top 10 teams, and mine is the Ravens. They've smashed more consensus top 10 teams in this entire list than any other team. They would have won last Sunday if a number one receiver didn't drop a wide open pass. They've been consistent, and I just think they have it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all ages, those are our top 10 teams. I tell you what, though, once Thanksgiving is over with and that Week 12 season is over with, we are going to know a whole lot more.
Oh yeah,
about these teams. And so after Week 15, we're gonna have a top five, and it's probably gonna be a lot of changes. So E, let's go ahead and do your Pando's picks. Go for it, man.
all right. So this
And
week
we
is full of pick'ems because there's a lot of games that could go either way. The way things have been going and shaking up, but you know I'm not gonna be scared and not say who I think is gonna win these games.
Okay.
So first we have Cincinnati at Baltimore. These first two games are AFC North slobber knockers. Cincinnati versus Baltimore. Both of them coming off of losses. They're at home in Baltimore. I don't think Baltimore is going to lose twice at home in a row. And if they do, then those of y'all that got Baltimore up there, I need to pull them down off that top 10 list. But I have Baltimore beating Cincinnati.
Okay.
That defense is for real, and I just don't see them losing twice at home.
Okay.
Pittsburgh at Cleveland. Cleveland's going to get a few turnovers off of Pickett. That's what's going to be the difference in the game. Is going to give Cleveland a short field. They're going to let that running game do its thing. And I like Cleveland over Pittsburgh. But both of these games, before I go any further, are pick'ems because this is the AFC North and things are insane in the AFC North right now. So they could go either way. You can't be like, well, you know, did it? No. The AFC North is like the most stacked division right now because all of them are still alive for the playoffs. And in week 11, Chicago at Detroit. Detroit finna do their thing. Okay, they in Detroit. Chicago don't really have much for them.
I'm surprised that's not just Stone Cold Lock.
No, my Stone Cold Lock is coming up in a minute because you just can't go wrong with the one that I have for my Stone Cold Lock.
Okay.
All right, next I have the Chargers at the Packers. As badly coached as the Chargers are, because that's what happens. They lose a lot of games because of bad coaching. Brandon Staley is probably next on the hot seat. We weren't able to get to that topic tonight, but we're going to get into it later about some of these coaches being fired and who we think is going to be next. And I think Brandon Staley is not too far. He's on that hot seat. But I like the Chargers beating Green Bay because Green Bay is just, I don't know what to say about them. They just ain't got it together.
They're babies. They're
Yeah.
babies.
Yeah, it may take a minute to get Green Bay back to its former glory. So I like the Chargers over the Packers. Raiders at Miami. The Dolphins are going to be at home. We're going to be seeing the Miami relays. It was nice while it lasted, Antonio Pierce, but you are not finna finish winning all of these games with some of these opponents that you have coming up. And Miami, it starts with Miami. I'm just saying, Miami's coming off a bye. Okay, and they're at home. And you're talking about a West Coast team traveling east. Everything says Miami should win this game. Okay. I got the Miami Dolphins beating the Raiders. So next we have the Giants at Washington. I like the Commanders in this. As long as they don't completely just crap the bed, they should be able to beat the Giants. Are a dumpster fire. They're going to have that third string quarterback starting.
And they have nobody off. Hey, real quick, they have nobody on the offensive line who's legit. Andrew Thomas just went down this past Sunday against Dallas. I don't know if he's playing. I know the Commanders lost their pass rushers, but Payne and Allen should be enough up front.
Should be enough. And Sam Howell is leading the league in passing. Go figure. Okay, so yeah, Sam Howell is leading the league in passing yardage. They gonna beat the Giants. Seriously. This is my Stone Cold lock coming up though. The Dallas Cowboys at the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers can't pull pee out a boot without instructions. If Dallas don't at least put 40 on them, it's a moral loss. They should crush the Panthers. Crush them. Like so bad to where they're going to have grief counselors in the doggone Carolina Panthers locker room to stop them from committing Harry Carey, which is like, the seppuku. That's where the Japanese soldiers stab themselves in the samurai and they cut that's what should happen to Carolina after this game. They should be that demoralized after Dallas plays them.
I feel so bad for Bryce Young.
At least 40 points. Another 40 burger.
Yeah. Bryce Young is underdeveloped or under something. Something's not going well in Carolina.
He's gonna be under something, all right. Under a bunch of doggone white jerseys. That's what he's gonna be under.
Scheme. The offensive scheme that they play, man. It takes too long, and that's not. Everyone said when he was getting drafted, that's not the way to use him like that. It takes too long to develop, and you don't have the offensive line to hold and let that play develop, and you don't have quick receivers. You got a bunch of old guys out there.
Yep.
I mean, we got freaking Adam Thielen basically out there with a walker because so old. Trying to
but he's their number one. He's a number one receiver, man. That says a lot.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
No, he's their number one in Carolina.
Yeah, they're number one in ARP.
I remember when all of this used to be with trees.
Exactly.
Hey, you know what? Adam Thielen is the Grandpa Pickles off of Rugrats.
Poor man.
That's what he is.
Exactly.
Years ago.
15 miles. Everything was 15 something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be a slaughter for the Cowboys.
Yeah. It's gonna be, like I said, they're going to have grief counselors in that Carolina locker room.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, you're right, Steve, because this is such a sure thing that hubris will set in.
Oh yeah, we'll see. Because
and we could have
Arizona,
another.
Yeah,
we could right.
We'll
it could be another Arizona. There's a slight.
The Giants game started slow, so we'll see.
Yeah, but okay. So Tennessee at Jacksonville. Jacksonville bounces back and beats Tennessee. It's a divisional game. They need it really bad to keep pace, to keep Houston off their tail. Jacksonville's got to win this game. It's more important to them than it is to Tennessee. I like Jacksonville. Arizona and Houston. I think the CJ Stroud show continues. I don't care that if you taller than a fifth grader is back. It doesn't matter. D'Amico Ryans has played against Kyler Murray for several years and knows how to stop him. That's
You know
the
what?
that's the part that people are leaving out. So
You know,
I like Houston at home against Arizona.
what I want to know is from Kyler Murray from now on for the rest of the season. Are you going to continue to be the same Kyler Murray you was before the injury, or are you now going to take time and really be in your playbook and try to be a true NFL quarterback? And that's what I need to know.
We know the answer to that.
Well, I got to see it though.
If you always do what you always done, you'll always get what you always got. So there it is.
I mean, but there's a time to change.
Okay, so next game I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Fighting Baker Mayfields traveling to Levi Stadium to play the San Francisco 49ers. Everything on paper says the 49ers should win this game. Everything on paper says that. I'm gonna go with the Niners this week, but I'm still skeptical. I'm very skeptical of Steve Wilkes and this. You still got Chris Godwin out there. You still got Mike Evans out there. They make me nervous because this is a game that we should just walk all over Tampa Bay, because I'm afraid of the team looking ahead to these other games they have. They got the Eagles coming up pretty soon. They got the Seahawks coming up pretty soon. I'm scared that the team is going to try to look ahead. Hopefully they'll play 1 week at a time, and they should take care of Tampa Bay. Next game, Jets at Bills. If you asked me this about 6 weeks ago, I said the Bills going to walk away with this. Nope, not 6 weeks ago, because Aaron Rodgers was 6 weeks. Yeah, no, Aaron Rodgers was out. So, yeah, 6 weeks ago, I'd have said Buffalo really easy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Not so fast. Zach Wilson's playing a little bit better. That Jets defense is legit. And just now, Josh Allen is slinging them picks like bean pies at a Muslim convention. Okay? So, basically, that being said, I'm going to go with Buffalo because they're at home. But don't be surprised if the Jets come out and they beat Buffalo. Don't be surprised. So it's another pick'em game. I got like 3 pick'em games out here. Okay. All right. So Seattle at the Rams. Seattle's gonna take that. Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, all those guys are playing well. But again, that's Seattle.
Secondary.
Secondary.
Oh, and I think Stafford might be back for this game.
If Stafford comes back for this game, Marcus, Seattle will win this game.
But it don't matter because, Carson
Stafford is going to throw some picks in this game. He likes to throw picks. You just got to catch them. And Seattle secondary is going to catch them. Okay? So
basically Seattle should have about 2 or 3 interceptions this game, maybe 4.
If Stafford plays, maybe the over-under is 2. I'm gonna take the over.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
Yeah. So Minnesota versus Denver. I think Denver's legit. I don't think they're gonna be good enough to make the playoffs and come out of that division. But not Minnesota, Denver. I think Denver's legit. I don't think they're gonna come out that division, but they gonna give people headaches for the rest of this season.
Yes, they are.
I like Denver over Minnesota. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I have 4 pick'em games. The Monday night game is Philly at Kansas City. A Super Bowl rematch. This is going to change a lot of people's top 10 power rankings after this. Okay. So this is another pick'em game. Could go either way. Just like that Super Bowl was very close, this was going to be another close one. If you gun to my head, you ask me to pick, I'm going to go with Kansas City. And anybody else who has a contending team in the NFC is pulling for Kansas City. But could go either way. So I got Baltimore, Cleveland, Detroit, Chargers, Dolphins, Commanders, Cowboys, Jaguars, Texans, Niners, Bills, Seahawks, Broncos, Chiefs.
So it looks like 2 out of 3 primetime games are fantastic to watch. So enjoy it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that wraps up another show, Just a Fan Podcast. Yes, we are live next week, the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Um, we will have more stuff to talk about. We are currently live on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, IG, and TikTok. We need to do a new TikTok video at some point soon.
Yeah, we haven't done any content in a while. We've been busy.
Yeah, we have been busy, especially me. Oh my goodness, third round of playoffs. What you call it? Oh, and then you can also listen to us on Google, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. Hey, down below, I'm gonna start with him before he bells out. The quarterback that runs this whole thing, Trish TV. We had the Four Horsemen on here again. That was great. But Steve's computer died, so that's why he's not finishing the show with us. But we're glad that he was on with us.
The IT guy's computer died. I can't.
But he's also the music producer too now. Remember, he produced a song for the show. He's a music producer. He put it together. All right. Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, the NFL Encyclopedia, the Football Mind, aka Five Bear, Coach Williams, and then that direction, Panel 316, the defensive mind that runs this whole thing. Don't come for him unless he calls you, and you know he ain't got your number.
I ain't got your number. I don't have that many contacts in my
Can you hear me now? Nope. Oh well. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, show of all ages. Peace.